Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from three very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Dev Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
We're in Wave Media. Welcome back to Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, where this season we're taking a look at George A. Romero's 1980s series, Tales from the Darkside. Sharing the Midnight View with me are the Culture Cast, Chris Stashu.
You said there would be horror movies on this show? Horror movies on this show?
You can't see it, listeners, but he's tapping the camera as if he's Jeff Goldblum. Mike White from the projection booth is also joining us.
Have you seen a fat dwarf around here?
I'm a dwarfist. We don't talk about dwarfs around here.
We're going to talk about her right now. We're taking a look at 2 episodes from season 2. These are the final 2 episodes from season 2. They are Fear of Floating and the Casavin Curse. Fear of Floating is season 2, episode 23, originally aired on May the 25th, 1986, written by Donald Wallner from a story by Scott Edelman, directed by John Lewis, and starring Sherman Howard, Anne Lang, Leon Russom. He was the dad in Silver Bullet. Just putting that
out.
And
he looks familiar.
Yeah, and Yardley Smith, Lisa Simpson herself. Sherman Howard, by the way, actual name Howard Sherman, was Bub, the lovable zombie from Day of the Dead, George Romero's final film in the zombie trilogy. I'm going to say that again. The final film in the zombie trilogy.
Can you say that one more time? It's like Beetlejuice. You have to make sure you say it a third time.
Day of the Dead is the final film in the zombie trilogy. Anyway, this one is about a circus performer who seeks asylum at an Arizona recruitment station. Oh, and he can float. What'd you think of this one, Mike?
This one floored me. I really want to track down the original short story. Apparently, the guy who wrote this also wrote a bunch of other sci-fi. He wrote issues of the X-Men and some other comics. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. Because it feels like we're missing a lot, because what we see makes no fucking sense whatsoever. This whole thing where, comes into this recruiting station and he starts spinning these tales about the circus performance. I don't even believe that he's from a circus. I don't think he's from a circus at all. And he just makes up all this stuff. So when the real people show up and you're like, where are all these angry circus performers? It's just this fat guy and Yardley Smith, pregnant Yardley Smith. And I'm just like, okay, it feels like there was more to this. And the whole thing with him floating, by the way, I don't think that ceiling fan is nearly sharp enough or fast enough to cause the death of the Nazi commandant from Raiders of the Lost Ark type of thing to happen.
It's the Tuggy cult, by the way. It's Temple of Doom you're giving a hard time.
No, I'm talking about the guy from Hey Gunnar, come here, come and say. Yeah, that guy from Raiders. Yes. Yeah.
Mike, to that point, I've watched so many guys on Jackass jump into ceiling fans that were amped up far worse than this thing. So it was just like, come on, guys.
That's probably one of my favorite movies from the first Jackass is when they just cut to a room and there's a ceiling fan going. The guy runs in, jumps on a little trampoline and right into the ceiling fan. Cut, next scene. I'm like, okay, yeah, that works.
Like Godard.
This is just, it's really, I was just so puzzled during this whole thing, and not like my usual confusion. People that listen to this show probably think that I'm a freaking psychopath because I don't understand a lot of things that we watch. This one, I was following it, but man, oh man, did they do some strange things, made some weird choices. And like I said, I'm just like, what's missing from this story? What was in that original short story that I assume is out there that maybe they were circus people, but they change when they come in the door because there's magical realism happening in here, obviously with the floating and everything. But yeah, and I did like how predatory the army recruiters were, which really made me think about all the stuff in high school where you have to take that test and they tell you if you're good at the military, and it's just like, that doesn't seem right at all at a public school to have the military coming in and giving you these tests to see how good you are. Chris, did they do that by the time you were in high school?
No, but I think it's high time we reinstate them.
Sure, why not? I say reinstate the draft.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. These poor army recruiters, they're just so bored.
What else are they doing?
They're just saving guys that can float.
And playing homemade versions of Risk.
Yes.
Which is the more important of the two, really.
Yeah. What'd you think, Chris?
I think that whatever the short story that this is based off of must be something else. As this episode reminded me of, what was that? I forget. Salad Soup Lunch or whatever the fuck that episode was.
Oh, like
a soup sandwich?
Soup sandwich, yeah.
Does that not remind y'all of this? Just like
Twilight Zone.
Was that Twilight Zone 85? Just something that's completely out of left field. And yeah, seeing Yardley Smith in anything, always a trip. Anytime, the moment she opens her mouth, it's like, this woman's making millions upon millions of dollars with that voice. And you can hear it. It's not very far away from the Lisa Simpson voice because Lisa is pretty much just Yardley Smith at this point. And if you haven't heard what Julie Kavner sounds like in a long time, go depress yourself by listening to new episodes of The Simpsons because it's not good. I'll just say that much. But this episode is also not good. It's fucking unintelligible. And then the ending feels like an insult. Because to Mike's point, that fan is not going very fast, and that guy is very dead by the end of the episode, I'm assuming. And boy, I don't understand why he has to float other than to die at the end by going into the fan. It's a weird episode. I applaud it for how strange it is. I applaud it for how unintelligible the plot is. I applaud it for having Yardley Smith in it in a role that's, again, very much what I've seen her in before, just there and being an actress. There's nothing special about her as an actress. She's in plenty of things, but then she became the voice of Lisa Simpson and stopped having to be in stuff. Again, I don't think anyone in this episode is bad. I just think this episode's just out of its mind. I don't understand what the episode wants because I don't think it knows what it wants. Father Malone, can you decipher the unintelligible mess that is Fear of Floating? Or did Mike and I miss the mark?
It does feel like a Reader's Digest version of something. There does seem to be more detail that has been either left out or, to me, watching this, it's fucking bizarre to see Bub livid and speaking and being as smarmy and gross as he was. This makes me think that Bub, before he died, was a fucking horrible human being and deserved what he got, instead of the heartbreaking performance he does in Day of the Dead. The smart zombie begins and ends for me with Bub in that movie. And it's
because... you mean Big Daddy?
Oof, no, I do not mean
Sorry.
Big Daddy's an...
He went there, not me.
It's an okay performance of an okay character, but it ain't Bub, man. Like, I'm startled that they didn't have Bub leading that fucking army of zombies. That was the fucking plan, wasn't it? And then that the point? Anyway, so Sherman Howard walking and talking here is freaking me out, but I'm also completely baffled by the episode. This guy runs into a recruitment station instead of the police station because he's being hunted by a man with a shotgun who has a daughter who's knocked up, right? Okay. And he's also floating because he's not facing his responsibility, which forces him to float. Okay, got it. Why didn't he go to the police station? I don't know. But he goes into the recruitment office and says, listen, these people, the circus people are after me. I need to get out of here. And they say, we're looking for recruits. Why does he even show them the fucking floating ability? He could just sign paper and go. Like that would be the end of the story right there. Oh, I'll sign right now. Can we get in a fucking car and drive out of here? Let's do that. So that, I don't know. That was
once again giving characters choices that they should just take and over complicating the fucking.
And talk about overcomplication. Okay, so he spins this yarn that he's being chased by these circus people who want to turn him into a circus freak, which by the way, I'm totally stoked for. So when the farmer's daughter joke shows up instead of a dark carnival of people, I was wildly disappointed. And then, look, I love Yardley Smith too, and any chance to see her, we should probably talk to her. She's a anthology veteran.
Yardley Smith is in Maximum Overdrive.
That's right, yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And she's in Toys as well, which is a movie that I love dearly, and I know I understand the hate, but I
am mostly familiar with her work as the cashier from City Slickers, the one that Danny Marv from the Wet Bandits. Yeah, Daniel Stern is sleeping with. Yeah.
Oh, I knew Yardley Smith before this episode because she was in the Legend of Billie Jean. She plays the younger sister in that. She's great in that. But like I said, the farmer's daughter joke just sort of shows up out of nowhere. And now we're in this tale, and at the end, the sort of comeuppance that the guy gets is so ridiculously orchestrated. Where now he's coming on to this woman who has shown him nothing but disgust, and then he's floating again and up into the fucking fan. Ugh. Yeah,
I wonder kills him in the end.
So I would like to read Floater, the short story that this is based on, because I imagine it's a little more nuanced than what we're getting here. This just feels like the beats of some other thing.
I'm trying to see if there's any sort of anthology of Scott Edelman's fiction that we can track down.
And it feels they're so broadly other things. It's not just like one kind of disparate thing and another disparate thing. It's like 5 disparate fucking things all at once. And what were they on? I just want to know, because it's like to connect some of this shit and then go, the circus, but then he's floating, but then he stopped floating, but then there's a fan in the room that can kill him. And also he's in love with the military woman, but she's not in love with him. It's like, what the fuck is time out episode? Like, pick a lane, pick an avenue, and just go there. Don't throw yourself in 8 directions at once, because this Crazy Like a Soup Sandwich felt like the same thing. It's a noir thing, but then it's a demon thing, and it's like, what the fuck? Just do one. Don't do 5. Don't do 2. Do 1. So many of these episodes struggle with doing just one thing right, let alone 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But not this show. That's the fucking weird thing. This is not a complaint we have had with Tales from the Darkside at all. Up until these last 2 episodes, and I'm talking about the episodes of the show Midnight Viewing, not the episodes of the show. It's been 4 episodes that have all been not great in a way that other shows we've watched together have not been great. It's fucking bizarre.
The show, what at least I know I've enjoyed about it, is how economical and streamlined they are. They're usually such simple stories, and that's important because pulling off a simple story and making it enthralling for 22 minutes is a hard thing to do. So the fact that they can do it and do it as often as they do is bitterly disappointing when we get to the end of the season and Edith Swenson's run of episodes. My own kink aside, liking that one, the vampire episode, I'm just saying her episodes have been really bad, and I feel personally responsible, gentlemen, for leading you down this Tales from Darkside road. But I know Tales from Darkside rebounds in season 3. They even get a fancy new logo.
They can pull up. This is not necessarily a death plummet. This is not a death spiral. This is not a sustained season of this shit.
Yeah,
That
but
was Tales from the Crypt. That was Night Gallery. That was Twilight Zone 85.
it's all of them. They all
Yeah,
crash and burn
yeah.
eventually. There's nothing that's going to prevent
Peter
that.
out, Peter out in that stall. You hit the stall too hard, and you just can't get yourself out of it.
Yeah, there's going to be shakeups in season 3. The story editor for these past 2 seasons is a guy named William Teitler, and what happens next season is he goes to Amazing Stories, the Steven Spielberg series that started up over on NBC. It's going to be like a whole new kind of creative staff, but it adheres more towards season 1 than the end of season 2.
But the question that I have for you is, do they move to Canada or London to start filming? Neither? Is it neither? The look on your face tells me that it's neither, and I'm disappointed by that.
They
Okay?
continue to film in both Los Angeles and New York, which is another thing that I continue to adore about the show.
I am so thoroughly disappointed that we do not get a shit third season that is filmed in just somewhere completely insane, because that was the other thing from some of these other shows. They just like, now we're just a purely Canadian show, and now we only film in Britain, and it's like, look at all these actors saying their R's really hard, like Ewan McGregor. My God, that the way he said his R's in that episode of Tales from the Crypt haunts me to this still. It's because you pointed it out, Father Malone, and I could not unhear it, because it's that season of the show is so notoriously bad. And this show is like never, this is the most sustained bad episodes we've had, which is so surprising.
I mentioned
Because-
dumping ground, and that's what this feels like. This feels like it feels like they didn't think they were getting 24 episodes and then scrambled and then just tossed these off at the end. There is a significant amount of time between episodes at one. There's an episode that airs in February, and then the next one airs in May. So it almost feels like they had to fulfill an order.
Right.
Yeah. From a choice of dreams on, they're separated by months. The fuck?
Yeah. Usually that's network problems where they're just like, we'll air this whenever we want to air this. And maybe there'll be some extra episodes that we won't ever air. Like when the Kolchak reboot was just petering out towards the end. It's just like, the last 3 episodes never aired any place. They were just on streaming services.
I always take every opportunity to mention this show, and I'll let the little cat out of the bag, but Kitchen Confidential, the original show that aired about the Anthony Bourdain book, has 13 episodes on the DVD, and only 3 of them ever fucking aired on national television. And the other 9, I think it's 12 or 13. I think it's 12. Yeah. The other 9 only ever ran on the DVD. And so I interviewed someone one time. It was actually Stan Winston's son, who was in one of the episodes, and he was like, how did you see that? And I was like, they did release a DVD eventually. But to y'all's point, that would not be surprising, because they do that shit all the time. They get rid of things, they drop things, they recut things. Which of the shows was it where the show's format changed completely? Was that Twilight Zone 85, where it went from an hour long to a half an hour?
Yeah. And then also don't forget the last season of Night Gallery, which we didn't cover. Wasn't Night Gallery where it was that Gary Collins show or whatever, where they just slapped the name onto it, The Sixth Sense, and they changed that into Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
Night Gallery.
Yeah, they repackaged a lot of earlier Night Gallery episodes and unaired stuff, and just slapped it all together with the Sixth Sense show. Fucking ridiculous. And like I said during the run of Night Gallery, there have to be some people out there who think that Night Gallery was a narrative show with some really weird detours.
They caught it right at the end.
Yeah.
They caught it at the wrong time. That's the thing. If you were watching Tales from the Darkside, I watched these 4 episodes with a friend of mine, and I was like, I promise this show is normally better. I was like, I swear to Christ, the show is better than this. I know he's not listening to this, but if he was, he still wouldn't believe me even now, because none of us, Father Malone, the only episode you've really liked of the 4 so far was the first one. And there's part of me that thinks that if you like the next episode we're talking about, it has to be ironic. There's no way you could like it unironic.
Well, let's talk about the Casavin Curse. This is season 2, episode number 24, the final episode of season 2. Aired originally on May the 18th, 1986. Written by Edith Swenson. Directed by Frank De Palma, starring Joe Cortese, Catherine Parks, Scott Lincoln, and Julie Areola. Gina is the end of her family's line and potentially the last of its cursed bloodline. Don't fall in love with her, Chris.
Don't fall in love with that fake Michael Douglas and fake Eric Roberts either. Good Lord.
Oh,
Just
fake Eric Roberts. That's perfect.
and fake Michael Douglas, is it not? A very specific Michael Douglas. Are you looking for that the whole time? I thought of Eric Roberts the moment he stepped on screen. No shit. I was like, is that Eric Roberts? It's this discount. I'm sorry. It's too close. It's way too close.
It's discount Eric Roberts specifically from the Pope of Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah. Oddly specifically too, man. Oof. They would think we don't like Eric Roberts or something. This was one of the worst episodes of this show. This is beyond. This performance, you messaged us in the chat the three of us have. You're like, it's worth it for the performance. Holy shit, is it not? This is one of the wildest things I've ever seen. And fake Tasha Yar is enjoying herself because that's who she reminded me of, because I know that's not the actress.
Oh, it was the haircut. That's just a haircut similarity.
Yeah, it is the haircut.
She don't look nothing like Denise Crosby.
Oh, no, and you know what? She don't act nothing like Denise Crosby, because Denise Crosby is on the other side of the studio filming something good, because this is real bad.
I met Denise Crosby at a Star Trek convention in Connecticut after the Playboy issue had come out, but before they fired her unofficially. They parted ways with her, and she was very angry at fans who were trying to get her to sign the Playboy because she knew what it meant. Yeah.
Was she fired because of the Playboy?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, because I don't remember that from that documentary about TNG.
They say at the time that they parted ways amicably, that she had nothing left to do with Tasha Yar or whatever. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Why was she back a couple of seasons later when everything had blown over? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. She was fantastic as Romulan agent.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Great.
Scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's nowhere near this. No fake Eric Roberts with those. Yeah. Oy. Oy.
I have to say the writers of this probably were really big fans of the Paul Schrader remake of Cat People, because that was the vibe I was getting from this whole thing, with the incest and the fear of sex and the transformation and stuff. I was just like, okay, settle down. I've seen this before and I've seen it done much better. Every version of Cat People that I've seen has been better than this one.
But they're not talking about the Casavin Curse. That's the Cat People Curse. This is the Casavin Curse. She becomes like a zombie lady. It's very different, very different kind of creature.
The curse itself has been passed down for centuries because this guy was he was married to a gypsy woman, and then he had an opportunity to social climb and marry like into wealth, ends up killing the gypsy woman, and with her dying breath curses their family that they'll kill anyone they love.
Casavin. Sorry.
We're all over it. I'm in love with it.
So now, is it a Cat People thing? Is it if you have sex with the person, you're going to kill them? Is that because they keep saying love? I fell in love. I kept falling in love. It's
the
love,
kind you clean up with the mop and bucket.
Yeah. This isn't practical magic. This is definitely more Cat People.
Not practical. They're not drinking margaritas at midnight and dancing around the kitchen. All right.
I wish they had clarified, because this is Tales from the Darkside. Why are they mincing words?
I know.
Pulling their punches once again here.
It's got to be the sex thing, right? When we find her at first and the body's all ripped up and stuff, I'm just like, granted, I think he might be wearing clothes, but it just feels like as soon as the sexual urge comes in, then boom, a transformation happens. And I was really hoping for more of like her in a like gorilla costume or something like that. I was like, please, she should be what's the name of the creature from Creep Show that lives in the crate? Yeah, it should be much more like Buffy.
Oh, I think Fluffy would have been perfect here. You're right. I do like her spooky makeup at the very end, but that ending.
It was so good.
So the curse is that she's going to kill the person she loves, so the person she's having sex with. And then that turns out to just not be the case, because she kills a random person who walks into the room. And that didn't happen before. We get the idea that this is not an isolated incident. This is just the latest cover up that they're doing for her, for this powerful family of two, these lords of industry. I don't know.
Hoi polloi, as they would say.
Good Lord, she's bad, right? I was not.
They're in austere white rooms with black marble rectangles on the wall. What doesn't scream 80s about that?
Now I have my party to return to. Stay away from her. Yeah, and weird incest stuff, and like none of it is necessary. Like
No.
If we go to Corsica, we could be married. The flying fuck is. When
We're
did the
not
show become
Egyptians, dear. Suddenly
when did
becomes
this
Caligula.
when did the show
Drusilla.
become when did the show become Tales from the Crypt? That's my question. Straight up. It just went full ape shit in this episode. Like Father Malone, I like how you say I liked the makeup at the end. Yeah, it was very reminiscent of Tales from the Crypt. It was again not this show. This show is so much better than this. I'm holding this show to such a higher standard because of the Romero of it all. Because it's George A. Romero. Because we talked about Sherman Howard. Because this show has his fucking name on it. This isn't some Jordan Peele bullshit where he's just, I'm here, but I'm not actually doing anything.
hey, you know what? He also made Bruiser, so cut him some slack.
Romero?
Yes.
I'm not saying that this is his responsibility.
I think he just did.
Yeah.
I'm more speaking to the idea of we gave other shows like Tales from the Crypt a hard time because Zemeckis and his pals were asleep at the wheel per our words.
Oh yeah.
So why are we not holding Romero to the same standard?
No, he deserves a kick, and a lot of these guys deserve a kicking for this last run of episodes, but I'm not going to hold it against them just yet.
I'm not saying hold it against anybody, and I don't even want to say hold it against Edith Swenson because it's not her fault that something made it onto screen that someone else didn't look over. Someone approved it. These decisions aren't made in a vacuum. That's not how this business works. There were people that sat in a room that looked at this and read this and said, okay, we're going to do this. Didn't just happen in a fucking space out of nowhere. People were paid time and money for this. Someone edited this. There are names on this. A lot of decisions were made to make something bad. A lot of decisions have to go wrong to make something bad, and a lot of decisions have to go right to make things good, theoretically, but you can have either thing happen even when good and bad decisions are made. I don't know with this. This just seems like bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And then at the end, the ending where she's just overacting beyond. It's just like, all right, so are you in on the joke? All of them?
Everyone's over.
Are they in on the joke? Is the question at the end. Are they in on the joke? Because it seems like as an actor, you would know that you're being asked to overact.
I think our gypsy lady with the knife knows the score.
Okay,
I think she's pitched perfectly at the end and would be a perfect ending of a better episode. But everyone else seems to be not batting for the fences, just bad.
Yeah.
Why did I never know until right now that George Romero was 6'5"?
Oh, I don't know. He was a giant of a man.
I always pictured him because whenever I see Up, it looks like George Romero to me. I think it's the glasses. But I always picture him as being a much more diminutive man. I never knew he was a giant.
Oh, yeah. Towering.
Wow.
Towering over the horror scene.
That's why in that Call of Duty game where they had him as a zombie, he was like gigantic, carrying around like a fucking set light, I think, even.
Wow.
He's a huge dude. Not like Gigantor or anything, but 6'5" puts him like top like 10% of people or more or less. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was even dwarfing O.J. Simpson when he made the Juices on the Loose.
That is a good sports film, actually.
Mm.
Speaking of good films, this isn't one of them. My favorite part of the episode, guys. The only thing I enjoyed in the episode was when she gets stabbed at the end and falls to the ground. The knife is bobbing up and down while she's laying there. It's like from the impact of her hitting the floor, it's just like on a spring almost. That was fun.
I thought you were going to say the Wiseauian lovemaking, because that's what I would compare it to. It was very Wiseauian. It's that like weird shots with the drapes billowing in the background and then they're shooting through that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There might not be like the misplaced bodies like in the room, but there's definitely some like they're trying to cover up the fact that they're making love, and it's like, what are you doing? This is again, this doesn't even seem like a Tales from the Darkside.
I couldn't even muster up hate for this episode. It's just such a nothing episode that I know we could nitpick it to death. Like on just a basic level, you're a doctor investigating for the police a homicide by a woman who thinks she's cursed. You know she's at least demented and is killing everyone she has sex with, and then you have sex with. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, Tales from the Darkside. What's going on?
That's what I was asking.
It's been a long season. It's 86. You need a rest. Just take a rest. We'll be here when you get back.
more women trying to stab men with ornately handled daggers with pancake makeup on and some like 99-cent fake teeth. Like literally 99-cent fucking from the Tom Savini special, doing it down and dirty for 15 fucking cents or whatever the hell. Like, this is some cheap ass makeup. It is pancake makeup and some fake nail applications. It's so lazy. I
Yeah.
can't even stand it.
I was waiting for Fifi O'Hara to yell at her, "Go back to Party City."
God, it's just so fucking wild. The amount of lazy in this episode, the amount of lazy at the end is just, wow. Congratulations. This was on national television. This was televised to people live. People, not live as in live, but live enough that people watched this and probably went, what the fuck at the end? I gotta assume there weren't people that were like, oh, that was good. I can't wait for the third season. This is not a good way to leave your audience. Let's just say that.
I was the audience, and I did think I can't wait for a third season.
Fuck me. All right. That's why we're here, folks, on Midnight Viewing.
And on the next episode of Midnight Viewing, we'll be taking a look at the first 2 episodes of season 3. Those are The Circus and I Can't Help Saying Goodbye. The Circus, written by George A. Romero. Midnight Viewing, the horror anthology podcast, is a proud member of the Weirding Way Media Group. Our theme song was composed by HP with an assist by Donald Rubenstein. Until next time, what are you working on? Where can people find it? Chris Stashu.
Everything can be found over at weirdingwaymedia.com, which is where all the audio/video stuff that we do is located, I guess. The video stuff's on YouTube. Just look up Weirding Way Media. Sort of.
Kind of.
As they say in the industry, sometimes the place you host don't do the most. They really don't. And fuck them. It's like a Fox thing. Fuck them. They don't help us, so who fucking cares? They're not listening to this shit anyway. So fuck them. Fuck them in the ear. Fuck them in both ears. Like, rate, and review shit that you listen to and you like and how you interact with your content creators. Just like, rate, and review everything. Just do that. Because if you can't contribute financially, we get it. Times are tough. Shit's tough. Shit's real tough. So it's okay. Just like, rate, and review the things that you interact with. What about you, Mike White? Where can people find the things you...
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Not on YouTube. Not for right now, but maybe one of these days. I don't know. I don't think anybody was listening to the projection booth on YouTube, so I'm not really that sad. But yeah, projection booth, everything else I do is available at weirdingwaymedia.com. How about you, Father Malone?
For me, Weirding Way as well. And head over to patreon.com/Father Malone if you'd like to support the show. You'll get episodes early and commercial free and bonus content you can only get there. If money's tight, you can do us a solid by giving us a 5-star review. You can like and share and subscribe and all that shit. Just tell somebody else to listen. Thank you for joining us once again here at Midnight Viewing. Until next time, 3rd season next time. Try to enjoy that fucking daylight.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.